just like that, I got Suds popping in just as we were kicking off.
The legend shows up just in time.
If you would have posted the thing for at a reasonable time, then maybe I would have showed up a little earlier.
Hey, everybody walks in the door at 5 minutes and 10 minutes to work, so what's the difference?
Difference is my computer's old as hell and it took 10 minutes to get on.
Touche.
And you do that.
Welcome, everybody, to Dueling Aces for May 2nd, 2022. Of course, Mr. Suds back in the action and back in the hot seat again.
I'm back, motherfuckers.
After a long bowling season.
Which we sucked.
Chipper is gracing us with his presence this evening per my request, as well as from the Bo and Joe Show, Bo Dean Sanders is in the house with us to definitely discuss a little bit more in detail about the USFL football and after a very interesting week 3. And I do mean interesting. Mm-hmm. And we are not talking about the damn kickers. It seems as the weeks go on, the kicking gets worse.
Just when you thought the second week it might have started to turn, nope. They're back to being unimpressive.
I believe the only one that is pretty much making his staple is New Orleans kicker. If I got that right, I think it's the New Orleans
kicker.
Guy.
Yeah, New Orleans kicker.
He's the only one who is at least 90%.
Yeah, so, and what's even though the kicker for the undefeated Birmingham team hasn't hurt them, they continue to win. So they're lucky. They got to hope that they can turn that around because that's their link in their chain right now. But we'll have that conversation when you're ready.
Well, if anybody from the USFL is looking for kickers, the Browns just released their 2 kickers after drafting one. So there's 2 kickers available there.
Very much so. Yep. Definitely have the room. We definitely have the room in the house. No matter how much Akers disagrees with the release, by the way. He's not too thrilled about it. I said, and Zolt brought up numbers and said, when your kicker is 71% and is 33rd in the league, and I went, wait a minute, there's 32 teams, and he's 33rd. Damn, that means a backup kicker, field goal kicker, is kicking better than he is. Not good. Not good.
Nope, that's not good.
That's bad. That's pretty darn bad.
So Akers was a big McLaughlin fan?
Just a hair, because that's who he drafted fantasy-wise after a bunch of people kept taking Justin Tucker before he could take him. And I wouldn't have any
instigating mother.
Why that happened.
They're just instigators. I don't know where these people come up around doing that kind of crap. I'd never do something like that to Akers.
Neither would I. Yeah.
I'm going to be struck down by lightning any minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, so am I.
I'm glad there's no storms in Michigan currently. I'd be screwed.
Oh, he is a big Baltimore guy and loves the Ravens, and it's Justin Tucker was like he would draft him about the 7th or 8th round, and this past year a few of us kind of beat him to the punch, and he wasn't too thrilled with it. So he said, "Oh, the heck with it! I'll take the Cleveland kicker," and talked a bunch of smack talk, and it's like, well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys didn't let him live that down, huh?
Oh, we don't let him live anything down.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. But the USFL game, this week we got the winless, and then we also had the undefeateds, and those 2 games were. One was extremely impressive, and the other one was just a shellacking. And Michigan proved that 0-2, I mean, Bo, you and I talked about it.
Yep.
They literally were on the last plays of the games that they could have had those touchdowns, and they could have been 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like they were a little bit more patient this week, and they just dropped the hammer down
Yep.
and
They
made Pittsburgh look just horrible.
They figured it out, right? And so that's a team that both the other teams in the league need to be concerned about, because they figured it out and they could go on a run, and we'll see what happens. But they dropped the hammer on Pitt. Seems like the Pennsylvania teams just did not do well this weekend.
Who's financially backing this league?
Fox.
Fox Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
How much are they invested into it?
a lot.
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
They're probably I don't know the number, but they're the majority stakeholder in the
Elon, come on, man.
Elon. No, let's talk about that. Hey, Mr. Kareem, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
What's your opinion with Jimmy and Kareem? Glad to have you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Got our 2 Steeler representatives up on here tonight.
Okay.
We're just
Then you guys get to tell me why you took 2 damn quarterbacks.
hang on. Don't pop the balloon just yet.
I go for the jugular right
we're
off
gonna-
the bat.
we're
I
gonna
screw
keep-
that.
We're gonna keep rolling on. We gotta keep rolling on the. We're gonna get into our USFL conversation here. New Orleans and Birmingham put on a show and a half.
They did.
They put on a beautiful show, and
Yep.
it early on it looked very, very defensive, and of course as the game went on, defense started to break down just a little bit, not by a lot, but just a little bit. I mean, and the game was pretty close. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not complaining about it whatsoever. I just wish that Slaughter wouldn't have fallen apart himself.
Yeah.
He really forced a lot in that fourth quarter, and I
He
thought
did.
if he could have just been patient, he
Yep.
would have been. I think he would have been fine.
Yep.
I think if he would have been a little bit more patient, he tried to press it. He tried to press it harder than Baker Mayfield. I'm just saying.
Does that mean
Yeah.
you get to pick on Baker Mayfield because he's not going to be a Brown? But don't you consider he's still a Brown though? You're not allowed to say negative things.
Actually, it's been the ordeal has been null and voided. You've been off. Yeah. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that ship has sailed. I'm on free reign now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But between Slaughter and Smith, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody would actually give them a shot. I would not be surprised.
Sure. Absolutely.
They looked very well composed, pocket or even scrambling. I mean, both quarterbacks looked very good, and I totally figured there would be nothing different or not even that to be expected. I mean, whatsoever. It was a very good game, and the other games were equally as good. I mean, it looks like you're watching NFL football.
There's a few backup quarterbacks, more than a few backup quarterbacks in the NFL that should be concerned about at least 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks in the USFL getting invited to camp. And that's going to happen because what happened this year in the NFL draft, and we don't want to go there, but there weren't a lot of quarterbacks drafted in the NFL draft. So these guys are going to be fresh in terms of mentally fresh coming off of this season. And so some backup quarterbacks should be concerned. Absolutely.
So can only college players get drafted
No.
into the? So why couldn't they? Could they have drafted them in the?
Michigan? The Michigan has Paxton Lynch. The Panthers have Paxton Lynch, who was playing with Denver.
And played with the Steelers for a cup of coffee.
Right. Yeah, no, this is a mixture of and Scooby is playing on the New Jersey squad on defense.
No. So, but can a player who currently is playing for the other football league be drafted into the NFL if they hadn't already been previously drafted?
Yes, they could potentially, but what happened is they would get a free agent invite or signed a free agent contract.
So they can't be drafted.
Well, it would be as an undrafted since the draft.
It would be right.
No. Let's say we go back last Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you
The
mean
quarterback for the Panthers, 2 years out of college, was not drafted. Can he now be drafted?
Yeah,
by them?
but it'll never happen. Right? Yes. Potentially.
Never say never.
Yes. Right. In that case that you're talking about, the 8 quarterbacks or 10 quarterbacks that are playing in the USFL right now, could one of those quarterbacks have been drafted in this past weekend's draft? If they hadn't been drafted before and they cleared and they're able to be drafted, sure, but no one's going to waste a draft pick on a 25-year-old quarterback, right?
Hold on.
Right.
Cleveland Browns.
Huh?
Cleveland Browns drafted a 27-year-old in the first round.
No,
Quarterback.
what I'm saying, who's playing in the USFL right now?
Oh, okay.
That was your question, right?
No, you said a 20-something-year-old into the NFL. The Cleveland Browns proved you wrong several years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but you didn't give me a chance to finish my sentence. You cut me off.
Wow. Whoops. Wow.
So, but anything's possible. But if they're playing in the USFL right now, no, they're not going to get drafted because they've already been drafted in this particular league. Because every player playing in the USFL got drafted to a team.
It's just kind of funny tonight that there is a lot of representation of people who are not going to like the Cleveland Browns on this show tonight. George is slightly outnumbered.
We Steelers fans don't care about the Browns. We don't. Who are they? I mean, they still got to prove themselves. We don't care. So
I just putting it out that I'm going. I see why the others didn't show up for tonight.
Oh, they'll be here. Don't you worry.
They're running scared.
Getting back to Philly, by the way. Cookus, when he got in, because both Philadelphia starter went down.
You say took us?
Cookus.
Okay.
I got that too, by the way. I took a little Jewish term going on there.
Yeah. He literally pulled a steaming beaming. First pass, almost all the way downfield for a touchdown. I said, wow. It's like this guy just came out of nowhere and was just lighting it up. I said, that was a pretty impressive little ordeal. And it's just a shame that he had Terry drop the wide open touchdown pass in the end zone. I was like, dude, really? I'm like, all you had to do is look at the ball in your hand. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Ouch.
Yeah, there's a few wide receivers that are dropping passes, but there's a few who are showing themselves, who also will get an opportunity to be invited to a camp. So again, I think out of the 8 teams, there's going to be at least a solid 15 players that will get invited, sign, a free agent deal to come to camp and compete. So
that Victor kid from New Jersey, for the running back.
Oh yeah.
Whoo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He is. It does so far. It's like, okay, we've seen three defenses out of all 8. It's like if he chews up through every defense, yeah, there's going to be a little diamond in the rough right there for somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
I think when this season ends, that if he keeps it up, that will be a very nice pickup for somebody, even to have as a third string running back. Even to have as a third string, I'd take him in a minute.
Because running backs get hurt, they get bruised. You
Mhm.
don't you can't survive with two running backs in the NFL. You're gonna need three, and one of those three are gonna need to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. So,
And
yeah,
this kid does it all.
yeah,
This kid does it all.
yep,
He
yep.
does. Nice, and a nice job too. Really nice job.
So,
Very nice.
I'm curious. Obviously, Birmingham is the number one team in the league at being at 3-0. Who would you rank as the second and third best team out of those 2-1 teams? Who would you give that second and third rank to?
Probably be it's two. I'd still say two would be New Orleans. I mean, Slaughter's got it. It's, I mean, he really does.
Yeah,
I'd say New Orleans too, and then it's still. I like the toss up between New Jersey and Philly. I
okay.
really do. I think those guys got it. I think they're it. The team that I just think is, I mean, granted, we said Pitt is just horrific, but Tampa Bay is in the same boat.
I would put Tampa Bay above Philly because Philly's 1-2 and Tampa's 2-1. So I would switch that.
I think Tampa's just getting lucky though. I think that's the team that if they would say pretender or contender, I think Tampa Bay is a pretender.
Until you absolutely could be correct, but
Correct.
until they go to 2-2 and even up with the rest of the league, I gotta keep them ahead of Philly.
Really? All right.
Yeah, I gotta keep them ahead.
Like I said, I think Philly has just played all the right teams so far,
Yeah,
and they've been very good games, and I'm not disappointed with it, not by a long shot.
well, remember what Bill Parcells said. You are what your record says it is. So that's the reason I'm gonna flip them. Tampa's 2-1, Philly's 1-2, but Philly's got a chance. Again, that's what's great about not having too many teams in this league because you can go on a 2-game win streak and be back in it, right? So
Yep. The
That's what
Gamblers
makes it
lost a
interesting.
heartbreaker, Clint, 27-26. So they're 1-2.
Yep.
But like I said, it was a heartbreaker. It was close. Those damn kickers just can't seem to hit
Get out of
even
their own
extra
way.
points. And that one got blocked though. That one blocked. So like I said, it's been some good football. It really has been. I mean, it hasn't been as much as a lot of people said, well, it's getting to be a whole joke or whatever. No. Like we said, after week one, they took a lot of the criticisms and the, definitely checked out social media or, just reevaluating themselves and mute the lineman mics have been pulled, put it into just the special spot players or just literally spot played it and then changed that drone cam and lined it up in all the right spots for the drone cam. I think the NFL is going to steal that drone cam idea.
Sure.
Because to
It
watch
just makes sense.
kickoff and then have that thing just curl around and you watch the returner from right behind, that's an impressive little stunt. I like that.
Oh, the NFL. What's the greatest form of flattery? It's to steal or borrow from the other team. Absolutely, no question about that. Absolutely. Who's gonna complain?
Right?
So yeah,
The guy who came up with it.
Well, it was just the league.
Well, if it's trademarked, if
It's
the
not
camera itself trademarked,
No, it's not trademarked.
you don't know that. You didn't
No,
know.
these-
I'll give you that
not
shit.
You
listen,
can't
these
trademark
guys-
water.
These guys have a working agreement between each other because the NFL is supporting this league.
Yeah.
In terms of not monetarily, but in the spirit of the game of football, because they know it's only going to elevate the fan base. So there's a handshake agreement between these two leagues. And then next year, when the XFL comes to town, that's only going to elevate real, football fans and maybe bring some new football fans in as well. So this is a win-win situation for everybody.
Well, doesn't one of the leagues have like a deal with the NFL where they can send like the NFL players to?
The XFL does.
So that's the XFL that has the deal with the NFL.
Yeah, and that's going to be for next year. It's going to be pretty much like a farming system, like the NFL Europe was.
Yeah, so NFL teams can send players to the XFL teams or whatever and work on their game or whatever, just like baseball does. Okay.
Yeah, why have 5 to 10 guys on your practice squad doing nothing? Right?
Yep.
So if you want those guys from the practice squad to develop, they need to get some playing time.
I questioned the gentleman's title of his name. Chipper's favorite
Sean?
asshole.
Sean's, yeah, that's Sean.
Did he read that before he typed it?
Yeah, of course he did.
Of course I did.
But of course he did. He did it on purpose, Suds.
Right.
Bullshit.
But it's been a while, buddy.
I get that, but I'm just pointing out that we might be crossing a line here.
We know.
Nah, we're good.
No, he
Well,
made
listen,
the dollar signs.
I did.
I
$20 is $20.
I got to get ready to run, but I wanted to say I do have a beef with the other media companies and even my local Philadelphia Inquirer newspaper, not giving the USFL the respect it deserves. I can't find anything in the Sunday paper about the games that are played on Saturday. That is very disappointing to me. And I actually have Comcast, and Comcast is not giving a USFL the respect it deserves, because I can hit a button on my remote and populate all of the other sports down the right side of my TV monitor.
Mm-hmm.
They don't populate the score of the USFL games. Any other sport, I can find out what baseball game, what the score is.
You can
NBA, all that stuff.
scores then.
Can you bring up the player or the fan owned NFL? Fan owned football?
Hey, don't be knocking the FCF. Zolt.
I just asked a question. That was the question. What's the answer?
I highly doubt you could bring that up.
I don't know what the question was. I didn't hear you.
He's asking if you can bring up the scores for the FCF.
The fantasy
fan controlled football.
Football.
Yeah, that's a whole different shebang.
That's on a social media platform. It's not on TV.
I was just asking a question.
No, sorry.
Is there a plan for next season to break away from the bubble and actually have them play in their represented cities?
Yes, it is. Like we said, we brought it up a couple of weeks ago. This was all done during the pandemic on the preparation and whatnot. So that's why all the coaches, all the players, they're in the hotels in Birmingham. Everybody is literally living in Birmingham because they weren't sure on how this was going to progress. So that's why, yes, at the moment, that's why it's so minimized.
Which I think that's a good thing, though. Started out as the bubble concept, and then at least you're gaining interest out of it. Because, like I said, the games are getting better and better each week. But I'd really like to see them played in their represented cities too.
Well, Sean, we get to have the opportunity to check out the championship game. It'll be at the Hall of Fame. Here,
I plan on trying to get to that once that becomes available.
Yep, so do I.
But though it is actually a pretty smart idea to hold it in one area at one time. Financially, you can't knock it. You don't have to deal with the travel. You don't have to deal with the hotel, the airline, the whole shot. You're all in one area. Most of those guys aren't going to sit there and stay in a hotel. They're going to have some kind of housing around there, which means the teams don't have to pay for that. It's a pretty slick move.
Yeah, Bo brought that up on his show last week.
And I think all the players are all the same base pay too, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and it's a controlled environment. No one's in and out of that hotel unless they have the credentials. So they control the environment just like they did in some of the other sports, basketball and whatnot last year during the heart or height of the pandemic. So it just worked out for them big time, because you haven't heard anything about anybody getting in trouble off the field, right? Because they're all the teams, all the staff, everybody is in the same hotel.
Nobody cared though. No, if they screw it up, then nobody really cared. They're not following any Haskin around, you know. Haskin was bringing in hookers.
Well, the Fox cares about it because the perception of a new league is you don't want to have any black eyes.
Right.
So from a marketing standpoint, it's a good thing. If they can go through this entire season and not have any off the field issues, that's a plus. Why? Because they can attract more advertisers.
It explains why Antonio Brown hasn't gotten a job yet.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah, the active players get $4,500, and for each win, it's $850 bonus.
Just don't ask for pizza or you'll get cut.
Yeah.
Well, that was unfortunate. And you don't know how he asked for pizza, right? But that's unfortunate.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, and that coach was putting, you know, and I was a little annoyed with that coach.
Yeah.
You know, because he came off as a hard gluteus maximus, and it seems like he had made the decision before the guy had a chance to explain his position, but he wanted to make an example of him, and that's unfortunate. But there are coaches out there that do that, right? Hopefully you're not playing for a coach that's like that. So
if Fox is basically back in the lead all by themselves for the time being anyway, and there's nobody in the seats, how exactly are they making money except for advertising?
Well,
that's it.
Well, that's it. And it's and NBC also has a hand.
They have other partners, but the biggest shareholder is Fox.
Yeah.
Right. And they made the decision to have that bubble in order to survive this season, gather a boatload of metrics and information. So next year, when they go to their prospective home fields, then they'll look to generate that revenue from ticket sales. Because they realize folks from Philadelphia and some of these other cities aren't going to fly down in large numbers to support their team. They realize that. But it's all about advertising dollars. That's what it's all about.
And they're doing really good with the ticket sales for the Birmingham games, of course.
Yes.
But there are some other teams that are actually, because the tickets are very inexpensive, and with the kids, I believe it was 12 and under are free. So, you know, it's a good time to just take the kids to a football game and actually watch a pretty decent game.
Yep.
And
Yeah, because they're only $10 a piece, I think, aren't they, for tickets?
it's 25.
Just so we're clear, Birmingham, Alabama?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, what the hell do they have going on down there anyways? Of course they're going to go watch this game.
Now it's time for me to go.
I'm just honest. I mean, what baseball team do they got? None. What,
Barons.
hockey? No. I'm talking professional. So all you got, unless Crimson Tide are playing again.
No, they got no professional leagues down there. That is correct.
Yeah, it's a perfect spot to have a team like that. To have this, you're going to flock to it. It's a great move.
Yeah, and it's a college football town, which means, hey, if it's football, people will go.
You don't bring it up here to Detroit because you got the Lions and the Red Wings going on. You don't bring it down to Ohio. It's a perfect spot to do this with. It was good. It was a good job.
Oh no, it worked out, and the facilities and the venue worked out as well, right? You got to play on a turf field, because all the teams are playing on the same field. If that was a grass field, that would have made it very difficult to select that venue.
Well, virtually almost nobody's in grass fields anymore.
Yeah, it's tougher.
Yeah, it costs more to maintain. Well, listen, I got to roll. I got a proposal to do.
No problem, sir.
Oh, what kind of proposal are we talking about here?
Let us know if she says yes or no.
Oh,
That
you're
proposal?
funny. Hey, we're not going to let that cat out of the bag.
I am an author and a motivational speaker, advocate for sports and DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I got a lot on my plate, and I have a podcast. So I got some things to do. But I wanted to come on, and since we had our show had G3 on for the past 2 Wednesday nights, I wanted to come on and share in the conversation about the USFL. So,
And there's Bo's book.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Zolt and I had a small conversation, and Mr. Zolt has already picked up the book too.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Well, whenever you want to have a conversation about it, let me know.
We definitely were discussing it. We definitely want to turn around and get that You're Out of Bounds episode done with you. So yes, absolutely.
Okay, good deal.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, have fun. Appreciate it. Enjoy. Have a good night.
Thanks, Bo. You too.
Bye.
Take care. Ciao.
Alrighty, gentlemen.
Where?
It is. He said where? Touche, Chipper. Touche.
George, I have a question.
Shoot.
How are we supposed to grow viewers when you invite every viewer onto the show?
Yeah, good point.
They're funny, but there are others that are not here.
I see 2 right there. There's 3.
Yeah.
There's 3. There's 4.
4.
Yeah, they're there.
Is Zolt itching to get booted from the chat?
He can't.
Zolt is immune. They have dual ownership of this.
Oh, that's true.
So of course, I happened to run into Chipper on Saturday, and we chatted just a little bit because it was the first time I had even spoken with anybody about draft stuff, believe it or not. And I said, definitely wanted to get Jimmy and Kareem's opinion on it too. Jimmy said he'll be turning around and tuning in to catch, but definitely wanted to see the reaction, get the info from these gentlemen about what they thought about Pittsburgh tagging the quarterback right there in round 1, especially after everybody else kind of waited around till round 3 to turn around and start.
But did they do it in 3 too? Did they pick up 2 quarterbacks?
Round 7, yeah, they picked up kid from South Dakota State in the 7th round.
I'm okay with the 1, but the second one kind of was just like, why 2?
That's what everybody's saying. Why? Why did they pick up a second one?
He's
in
muted.
The 7th round.
You muted yourself, sir.
Are you a Steelers fan?
Am I a Steelers fan?
Yes.
No, I'm not anybody fan.
Then it don't even matter why we drafted 2 quarterbacks. We were supposed to draft 2 quarterbacks. First off, Helmet Boy don't count, and we had a quarterback die. So that's only 3 quarterbacks on the roster, man.
I actually like your quarterback was originally on the roster. I think he was a great pickup, actually. By the way, I'm a fan of any team that is doing it the right way and doing well. So
Mason, you liked Mason Rudolph?
No. Your other one. The one they got from the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Oh, Mitch
Trubisky.
Okay.
Trubisky. No. Trubisky.
We actually got him from Buffalo.
That's the guy I like.
We actually got him from Buffalo.
Yeah, Mitch went to Buffalo for a cup of coffee.
It's just crazy that Mitch don't really stand a chance anymore. Like, Mitch is probably not going to start. Almost undoubtedly, he's not going to start. He's behind the ball.
I disagree. I think he's actually going to show out during training camp and during regular season. I think he's going to actually be your starter.
You know I'm a diehard Steelers fan. Look, there's no way, bro.
Had 3 sizes too big for your head.
There's no way. There's no way. I'm gonna tell you why he won't start. Okay.
Okay.
Before Kenny Pickett even threw a ball in college, he was scouted by Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. He did not go to the college that Matt Canada was at, Pitt, but he did transfer. So this guy already knows the offense. He's already comfortable in the offense. People want to know why his numbers only was good last year. Well, that's because he got comfortable in the offense and got more weapons. Well, now he's coming to a pro offense. That's the same offense that he ran, Matt Canada's offense. So, yeah, I'm excited. Mitch got to learn. Mitch got to learn first. He got to get comfortable in that system. So he's behind the ball, and you as well as I know, when you got a young guy and you got a veteran, even if the veteran beats him out and it's just a little smidgen, the young guy is going to start. So I just
the difference is the paycheck. Trubisky is not a big paycheck.
Right.
Mitch is not a big paycheck. He's not for an NFL quarterback. So he could stay. They could legit keep the two and have the better of the two start for a while. They could keep Trubisky on there and play the entire season and have the other gentleman learn as you go along versus throwing his ass in. Because even though I do like the other quarterback, he's just coming into the league, and even Patrick Mahomes sat his ass for the first season. So they could easily just sit him down, let Trubisky play this out. Trubisky's got a lot of athletic talent, and they could be successful and allow this gentleman to sit down and learn the speed of the game.
I agree with you. But at the same token, you're going to play defense. That quarterback's only going to throw the ball. Either one of them is only going to throw the ball 15 to 20 times a game. Maybe Trubisky 20 to 25 times a game. They're going to run the ball with Najee. You don't got the 4th overall running back in the league as a rookie for no reason. You would have to say that you hope he transcends and gets better. So,
and Trubisky was very successful
to do all of that.
But Trubisky was very successful with a good running back. He's a good runner. I'm betting on Trubisky being the starter for at least 4 to 6 games, if not the entire season.
When Trubisky was in Chicago had a horrible offensive line, and our offensive line isn't much better, but it is better than what Chicago had.
I like Trubisky.
And he was successful for the first 2 seasons of his career in Chicago.
Of defense.
And they can say that it's preseason, but if you watch that Buffalo game, like, he looked really good with weapons and stuff around him. So I'm excited to have all of them. Now, to whoever said that we drafted a quarterback in the 7th round, I know we drafted a quarterback. I like the dude from Nevada too. He raw. He gonna need some time, but he ain't helmet boy. So anybody but helmet boy.
I agree. It's just that when you're an NFL team and you're in a rebuilding stage, which the Pittsburgh Steelers are.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
You're not in the rebuilding stage?
No.
How do you rebuild when you ain't never had a losing season? How do you rebuild when you constantly been making
you're rebuilding from the 4th level versus the basement, which a lot of teams build from. You lost your starting quarterback. You lost several wide receivers. Your defense is not spectacular. You're a decent team, and you're looking to drastically improve.
We lost 3 wide receivers.
Did you go to Disney Plus to get your stats, man, or whatever? Like,
we got a starting quarterback last year, Ben Roethlisberger. You don't have you just picked up.
Ben was done 2 years ago. What?
I know. I understand. You just got your quarterbacks for this year. You're rebuilding. That's all I'm saying. You're just starting. You're restarting.
We went to the playoffs with a 3rd-string quarterback. We have Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett now with a better offensive line. And you trying to tell me we're rebuilding or taking a step back or whatever you're trying to say?
No, you've rebuilt. You're rebuilding. Yes.
No, that's false. Where do we need to rebuild? Who do we lose? Joe Hayden?
Well, you just picked up 2 quarterbacks. This was the rebuilding year. Whether you're successful or not, Well, it is left to be. We're waiting to see. But you guys could
Retool?
definitely. You just draft. You picked up 2 quarterbacks, right?
Yes.
Actually, no. You picked up 3.
Technically 3.
3 quarter. You picked up 3 quarterbacks. You
The Mitch.
the fourth
Well,
guy.
it's not so much rebuild; it's just replace.
Yeah,
retool.
retool. Like,
Yeah,
re-
there's a
We're not
difference
rebuilding.
between that and a full rebuild.
I'm not. Then I said you're not rebuilding from the basement. You're rebuilding from the 4th floor up. I mean, you have a good at least a decent defense, but you also didn't you pick up players for your defense as well?
Miles Jack is a linebacker.
I mean, you're just you're trying. You're going from a first round playoff team, and you're trying to make the conference finals, if
Don't
not
make
the Super
Jimmy-
Bowl.
don't
I
make
mean, it's
Jimmy
just a.
come on here. Jimmy will smack you.
Now, I will say this, and somebody made actually a good point about it on the radio this morning. As a Browns fan, I will say Pittsburgh ownership has been really good about replacing guys to have that next man up kind of mentality where they haven't had to have a full fire sale fucking blowout like the Browns have had for years.
Yep.
yeah, that's true.
There's a team that also, by the way, is at a higher level and has rebuilt some. You've just changed quarterbacks. You've changed wide receivers. You're changing defensive players. You're building up.
All of those players you just named that we were rebuilding up sucked. Okay, Ben was done 2 years ago. Juju, Mister, drop him on the camera doing all the kind of dances that the young kids doing on these TikToks and stuff himself. Don't count. And who else? Like, I don't see where the disconnect is here. I'm glad Ben's gone. I love Ben.
You're thinking that I'm not saying you've improved dramatically. I'm saying you have. I'm saying you've rebuilt. You've gone. $6 billion man was a good guy before he got all the machinery. I mean, he bigger, better, stronger. You guys have improved dramatically. You're rebuilding.
I will definitely take George Pickens over Juju any day. Juju wasn't doing anything for us.
Oh, I hate that guy.
George Pickens, he is supposed to be a stud. The only reason why he wasn't a first round draft pick because he tore his ACL. Otherwise, he was supposed to be at least top 10 draft pick. But we got him in the second round, so I absolutely love that pick.
Yeah, me too.
You have a quarterback. We're having a debate right here. We're not which quarterback's going to start the first 4 or 5 games, whether or not it's Trubisky or Willis.
Now, for the record, I didn't want a quarterback, and here's why: because this quarterback class was already said wasn't supposed to be the greatest, and there isn't supposed to be a franchise quarterback in it. There was a reason why we signed Mitchell Trubisky for 2 years. Why not just let him play this year, see what he can do, and if he couldn't pan out, then we draft a quarterback in next year's class, where next year's class is far better. Use that first round pick for the best defensive lineman or offensive lineman available, because that's where we need the most help.
I think you probably could have got him for a second. I think you probably could have got him in the second round too.
I can answer that. The reason why you do it this year is because if you got to get one of those quarterbacks, you're going to have to give up a farm to go get him. So you might as well draft something this year and see what you could do before you got to do all that. That's why we didn't go get Russell Wilson or trade up or do anything this year, because you kind of want to see what you could do with either Mitch. That's why he's on a $14 million 2-year contract. We can let it go after this year. And that the way they set it up is everything is open. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a chance. But if none of you work out, then I guess next year we'll be trading up to get a quarterback or doing whatever we got to do to get a quarterback. So I like what we did.
And when you can swoop in and get a quarterback who's been a starter in the NFL and you can get him at that price tag, you can definitely rebuild quickly around that situation. You can bring in a lot of free agents and a lot of different positions where you don't necessarily where you might be okay, but you can be stronger. Where you can, because you have a lot more cap room. You could bring more corners or more safeties wherever you think you're the weakest at, and you can bring in a lot more players because having the cheaper quarterback is a lot more convenient, a lot more helpful in that
Well,
perspective.
I just thought that because our offensive line was just so bad last year, and granted, we did sign at least 2, maybe 3 free agents in the offseason. I just thought we'd have been better off drafting a offensive lineman or even the defensive lineman in the first round. I'm not going to complain about George Pickens in the second round.
Oh, that's a good pick.
And this draft, they said it was very wide receiver deep.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Chipper. I thought they was gonna go defensive too, and I just said because, despite the fact Cam Hayward still putting up them numbers, he's getting older.
Right.
But again, the one thing I'll say about Pittsburgh is they are real good at getting guys and drafting guys and having them shoot right on in and just
we already got somebody in his spot
going like so. As for Mitch, I think I told George that I'm like, as soon as they sign Mitch, I'm like, Mitch is a bridge quarterback. He's probably gonna be there for 1 year. They're gonna draft somebody and then just have him sit behind and let it go from there. So,
and Pittsburgh, if we're looking right at the picks,
I thought it was Willis because I thought it was Willis that y'all gonna grab. Everybody saying no, they're gonna give Malik Willis.
Yeah, like, Pittsburgh did not. I'm looking right at this, and they did not do. They picked the spots where they were retooling. I mean, Connor Hayward, nice tight end to slide right on in.
That's a great pick. He's an underrated pick, man.
Great pick up at 6.
He's a Jacob Hester type guy. He can play tight end, fullback. Like
I love that we stayed true to ourselves. Yeah. These picks, when you look at it, you be like, yeah, this is Pittsburgh's way. This is so I like it. Calvin Harris, the speedy receiver that's 6'4", 6'5". I like him. He'll be a great return slot guy.
Who's that? Calvin Austin from Memphis?
Yeah, the receiver.
He's 5'7".
Huh?
Yeah, he's a slot guy.
He's 5'7". He's a short dude.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the slot guy.
Yeah, I was watching some YouTube, some of his highlights and stuff, and I can't wait to see him in the return game. He ain't gonna be no Pro Bowler or nothing like that, but I can't wait to see him in the return game.
Yeah, like I said, this was not a bad draft for you guys whatsoever. This was a pretty solid draft.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I hated it. I just felt that we didn't need to go quarterback in the first round or even at all in this draft. I mean, look, the Ravens after us got Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Iowa. The Jets got that Jermaine Johnson, the defensive end from Florida State, and then the Packers got Devontae Wyatt, the defensive tackle from Georgia. I would have loved any one of those three.
Okay, so let's just say this then. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say Mitch Trubisky come in this year and he's mediocre. I mean, he's not bad, but he's not all that good. He shows signs. But let's say we win something like 8-9 games and we miss the playoffs. You're not getting a prestige quarterback in the draft. You didn't draft one. Now what do? It's like they put themselves in a position to still have options. We had to draft a quarterback to keep our options open.
Well, if you win only 8 games, okay, how many did the Lions win? 3, 4? 3 games? 3 games? And they got the second overall pick. So you're probably looking at the 9th or 10th overall pick.
That's what I was just going to say is, if we win only 8 or 9 games, that puts us at least in the top 15.
Right. So you can pick up
the top 15.
This quarterback.
Yeah, but at that point,
it's going to be hard to win the top quarterback next year.
Quarterback. The top quarterback is taking number 1, number 2, no less than number 3 or 4. So if you're picking in the top 15, that's true, but you're probably picking somewhere 9, 10 through 15. And it's a predicament you don't have to be in. You know what I'm saying? This was a defensive heavy draft anyway. So you could have still got pieces like Neal, to play defensive tackle in the later rounds. You gotta keep the way you don't put yourself into a rebuild is not to lock yourself in somewhere. And picking something other than the quarterback would have locked us in unless we signed somebody else as a free agent that was young, in my opinion.
Well, you also could have got him in the second round.
No, we could have got somebody in the third
You
round.
could have got Willis on the second round.
I don't know if you would have got Kenny Pickett again. Look how the Steelers even smoke screened with Malik Willis. Like, they knew Matt Canada was their offensive coordinator. He scouted this dude. The dude that told our owner, Rooney, that he would be a Hall of Famer, and you know the whole thing with Dan Marino and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's so many things. Like, they knew who they wanted to pick. It wasn't even a question of was it Pickett or Willis when Pittsburgh got up to the podium. To the world, though, they thought we were picking Willis. I mean, for a while, I even did. So, you know, I mean, maybe Pickett was the best. I mean, it was a weak draft. So, I mean, you can't say clearly who was the best. You know, it's all opinionated, I guess. But I don't know.
NFL ready out of all the quarterbacks. A lot of people were saying.
I just want to make a quick note here for Adam, just in case he's listening, that Toronto is absolutely manhandling Tampa Bay right now, 3-0. Continue. Continue.
He's probably actually watching the game.
Oh, of course he is.
He definitely is.
He is.
I'm bouncing back between this game and the Boston and Hurricanes game.
That's why he's not on here, because he's watching the game.
If he is watching the game with that score, he should be on here because he should turn that game off.
Right.
Well, that's why he's called the Albatross.
Wow. Hey, all I know is that the 49ers got me a new quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy from Iowa State.
He was Mr. Irrelevant?
Stop.
Yes, he was.
God, I hope Jimmy G goes off this year. Just goes off.
Knocking
No,
out
I
Brock.
hope Trey Lance go off, okay?
I
I don't want neither one of the quarterbacks.
Gonna have Purdy. Purdy's gonna turn around and show up, ball out, and they both go out. I'll be happy with that.
I don't think I would want to call my quarterback's last name if his name was Purdy. Like, I'm just saying, like,
I know, right?
I can never have a Purdy on my back. Like, I can never get his jersey.
That's not even a tough name.
Shit, George already got that ordered.
It goes along with his favorite kicker, Young Ho.
That
He gonna
was
get the whole outfit.
that was jersey number 101.
Well, no.
Young Ho or Purdy?
Oh,
Purdy.
Oh,
There he is. There he is.
There it is.
No, he must have got that message.
He got walked in the door after I ate, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna run upstairs and put this shit on. And let's do this."
Your ears must have been burning.
Oh no, he was just razzing about Toronto and the Tampa.
Who, Sean?
Yeah.
Where's Columbus?
I don't know, but Nashville's still in the playoffs, so that's my original team.
Okay, that's all right. Because last night I checked, who's back-to-back champs? That's right.
Well, don't look like they're going to go back to back. That's for sure.
Oh, what? One fucking game and that's it. It's over. Fucking right. Right the presses. They're done.
It's so fucking easy to get him wound up.
Adam, we just had a great discussion about your second favorite team. The Steelers.
Not even getting started. Fuck them. Fuck the Browns. Fuck the Browns for letting Baltimore pick up fucking Ajabo. Fucking the Steelers to get Pickens. And I mean, everybody in the Browns had a chance to get it 44. Now let's trade back and let all of our fucking rivals come in and just take everybody that we should have picked.
Should have been a part of the gang.
God, Sean really got him riled up.
It's been a rough day. I worked fucking 12 hours today. I'm just fucking aggravated as fuck. We should have been off at fucking 4, but the assholes wanted to dick around and fucking play in a creek all fucking day for the last 3 hours of the day.
That's what I'm talking about. Keep that same energy. Keep on talking, Adam.
I'm just saying. You're welcome.
So speaking of the disaster, Let's take a look. We got traded out of round 2. Don't know who was drinking in Vegas, but somebody
hang
was.
on. How can you call this draft a disaster when you not only did you draft Oprah's nephew, you also drafted a WCW wrestler from the 90s?
Yeah. That's one.
You did. Which one is that?
Alex Ray.
Alex Wright.
If he doesn't do the dance coming out of the tunnel,
I know, right? You have to
cut his ass.
put him on fullback just so you get a touchdown.
All right, so somebody fill me in because I'm not familiar with this.
Alex
George-
Wright.
You're gonna need a picture.
Alex Wright.
Yeah, we're gonna need the picture.
I'll get it.
Or the video.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
So just what didn't you like about the Browns draft?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I didn't say I hated it. I just want there's the players. I'm just upset because the players that I wanted they traded back and they let our fucking rivals take. That's what upset me. 'Cause I wanted to pick him. I know there's a knock about his his attitude or something, or the way he doesn't carry himself. There's all that shit that came out like a week before the draft or some shit. But you're gonna have that about everybody. That's just smoke screens for teams to throw that out there so somebody before them doesn't pick him and he falls to you. I wanted Ojabo too. I really did. Just being a Michigan fan, that's the homer in me that wanted him. But it is what it is.
Well, as it turns out, you guys could have had Nakobe Dean too.
Yeah.
He messed his own self up. That's crazy.
I would have loved to have had him.
Yeah, the thing is, you don't withhold the fact that you got a torn meniscus. So you
What was
better
it?
report. Like
Him and that receiver from the Chiefs, that Justin Ross.
Wrestler.
There he is.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Did you legitimately draft that dude?
No.
Or his kid?
No.
Same name. The same name.
The guy's
Hey,
name.
listen, you guys draft 30-year-old players, so I never know what the hell y'all doing.
The guy's
Right, you don't
name.
want-
Alex Wright.
Never shut the fuck up about it.
Listen, Whedon still got a shot at the Hall of Fame.
I know the fuck he doesn't. He never did.
oh god.
You know, Oklahoma State or wherever the
And
fuck he
Derek
went to
Anderson gonna
college.
get in too.
That was such a shitty pick that I've always said, like, my hashtag was always Whedon Hall of Fame.
And he still plays it to this day.
No, Suds, and there's the actual Alex Wright that the Browns drafted.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. You never can tell with you Cleveland, you know.
You know, I love the David Bell pick though. I wanted him to.
That was a good pick.
I just know him because he used to kill Ohio State every time he played.
I mean, they said this draft was a wide receiver heavy draft.
Wide receiver heavy draft.
I
Yeah.
was really surprised they took the running back though.
Yeah, that was a very interesting pick.
I'll tell you what made me laugh at the draft is the Chiefs division. How the hell did y'all let the Chiefs draft one of the fastest receivers? I would have drafted him just to stash him. Like, there was no way I would have let the Kansas City Chiefs get anything close to Tyreek Hill. Period. That wasn't a good move.
Oh, Sky Moore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, did you see that
Yeah.
they signed
Mm.
they signed Justin Ross today as a free agent?
Oh wow, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Said that he was in another situation like apparently that Dean had. He had some sort of injuries he kept disclosed or something. Is what I read today.
They talking about he's gonna be a number. When they
He
talking
had
about before it seems like he's gonna be like a possible first round draft pick. Like
Justin Ross has some sort of back issue that he had surgery on last year. That's why I don't even think he played last year. So, but even still, for the Chiefs to snag him up, though, can you imagine if he stays healthy and comes back to form?
Well, and
I was surprised.
Go ahead.
I was surprised they took Karlaftis. Like I didn't expect them to do that, but I understand they lost Frank Clark and a couple other guys on that D line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were talking about Karlaftis being the one that was going to drop into like the second round, but obviously not. The Chiefs said, "Fuck that. He ain't going that far."
Well, did the Chiefs trade up to get him?
I mean, there were so many trades I couldn't keep up with.
I believe
Yeah.
so.
There
A
were
couple
already
picks.
11 teams that traded out their first round, that had their draft picks already out in this draft before the draft started. Then there were 9 more trades on Thursday night of people.
We need to go back to our last week's show because somebody did pick the fact that Mr. Williams was going to needed to go to the Lions, and somebody was saying that the Lions were going to pick him. I think there was somebody on the show.
He doesn't look too happy to be in Detroit though either.
I don't care what he's happy. I'm just I was right.
No, he was happy after that. Yeah, he looked pretty pissed off on draft day. But since then, I've seen some stuff from him. It seems like he's come around.
Well, if you want to talk about being right, then I guess you could say I was right about Aiden going to Detroit then. So bam, now what?
Oh, that was an easy one.
No, the fuck it wasn't.
I was right about Duffy getting picked before Boo.
He was going 1 or 2. That's the story it was going.
Okay.
Hey,
Is there a number for the most trades in the first round?
That was it.
I think
Oh, was it?
20 topped it.
Oh, okay.
With the total of the trades that were before, plus the 9 that happened, 20 tops it.
Jesus Christ.
And it was
That was crazy.
This was a record-breaking draft period for Georgia to turn around and have 15 total guys.
I hope all them guys prove Mel Kiper wrong. Mel Kiper was hating so hard on Georgia, man.
Big time. And one of the interesting ones was this one right here with the New England Patriots taking.
It's Bill Belichick. Is that really surprised you?
I'm about to say Bill Belichick. Everybody don't surprise Bill Belichick.
Bringing a new college into the first round of the NFL.
I will say this, because it wasn't the most exciting draft, it was actually really nice to see a lot of the smaller schools getting some love with their players being drafted.
Yeah, because the Coastal Carolina type got drafted too, I believe.
I'm just surprised that people, when they see this pick, they say, "Oh, it's Bill Belichick." That's like me saying, "I know what day it is," like Baby Joe Crawford Friday. So what is Bill Belichick? This is inexcusable. You picked a third rounder in the first rounder. That's me God. Me God. I don't care who you are, Hall of Fame or not. This is boneheadish. Like, you could have picked him in the second if you felt that high. You didn't have to take him in the first. Hell, you didn't have to take him in the second. You don't get away with that's too far off. You picked a top 100 talent in the first 32 picks.
And he picked a quarterback in the 4th round when he's got Mac Jones.
Yeah, it was just.
I didn't see that they re-signed Hoyer yet. I don't know if Hoyer is still on the roster. Hoyer's been doing 1 year. So
yeah, the Patriots must have hit the strip club, all month long and was scouting something else, because I don't know what they was doing.
And it just doesn't make sense. I mean, even if Hoyer doesn't sign you, so you're basically drafting your backup quarterback to Matt Jones in the 4th round.
Yeah, I don't know. I know.
Well, you're also assuming that you're. I don't know what this guy is. I don't know what talent he has, but you're assuming that he's going to stay at a quarterback position. I mean,
he's a guard.
He could be the next Hill, or Slash or whatever. You don't know what talent I don't know what talent he has.
Yeah, you're right there, but you don't draft it in the 4th round.
But that's what they did. They drafted the guy, and the idea might be changing his position. So,
I mean,
assumption is the mother of all fuck ups.
You get everybody's opinion. Who had the best draft?
Well, hang on. Before we move away from New England, I do want to say Belichick's draft strategy, from what I've read, it's not so much about where a player is ranked, even on their own boards in a way. It's more he focuses on what player he wants to replace. And that's what he drafts for. Every player he drafts knowing who that player is going to replace in his head.
Well, to that thought though, then why is he drafting a quarterback in the 4th round when he already has Matt Jones?
Because he's replacing Hoyer.
He's replacing Hoyer or whoever.
Don't lose your job. It was boneheadish. I don't understand it.
Well, the Lions, like, you know, we were going back to Williams there. When I was working, so of course I'm listening to this, and when they said the Lions traded up, I nearly had to. I stopped working and I went, "What? Wow. Okay, who are they grabbing?" And of course, that's where, you know, there's this weird wide receiver run, and it's like, what the hell? Is everybody turning around and paying attention to my fantasy scoring system, and all of a sudden here's a run? It's a hell of a run, and everybody was moving on up.
Well,
The Saints moved up, the Lions moved up, and then when Philly moved up, I thought, okay. And then they went with the tackle. I was like, well, so much for the run.
I think it was funny in the draft. I think I said that when they was talking about the Eagles pick, Mel Kiper was talking about they should draft Jameson Williams, and they were like, he got the pick ahead of time. I'm like, oh yeah, Mel, you had something wrong with you, Mel.
Yeah.
He was just off.
You're like, Mel, stay off it, Mel.
Wasn't it one of the memes that said Mel Kiper only got 16% of the
That's
draft?
the video I sent y'all. Yeah, like he only got 16% of like draft pick, like right.
And in the meantime, Jay Glazer went 8 for 8 in the first 8 and actually nailed the first 10 picks. I was like, wow. I guess they got the wrong guy on the damn stage.
Hang on. Was this like a pre-draft list, or was this he was throwing them out there before they made the pick?
It was the pre-draft list.
Okay. Just making sure he wasn't doing the whole inside information.
Yeah.
A la Mike Maylock.
Jay Glazer is kind of that. He's got that inside. You know, he's got that inside scoop.
Train alert.
Train.
Well, the analysts were killing me because these guys were praising all these players during the combine, and then when they get drafted, they turn around and be like, "Well, I don't understand this pick. He's got short arms, and you know he's balding," and it's like, dude, you were just praising this kid like 2 weeks ago.
They do.
That actually brings up a question. What did y'all watch it on?
ESPN.
Yeah.
NFL Network.
I started ESPN and then I switched over to NFL Network, and I thought NFL Network coverage was better.
And I was listening on NFL Sirius.
By the way, 4-0.
We beat them 8-1 last month. I'm okay with that.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off here and catch the rest of the Braves Mets game. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, sir. Anytime.
Thanks, George. Appreciate it, guys. Take care of yourselves.
You too. Later.
You're very welcome.
All right, man.
Last I checked, I think there's still 6 more games. Yeah, we'll be fine.
If you make it 6,
at least 3.
Right.
Yeah. Bad thing is that just looking through the schedule for the year. I think we played them 4 times in the series, so it's like fuck.
And Carolina's beating Boston 2-1, but from what I heard, Carolina has owned Boston all season long.
Carolina's been tough this year.
We knew that this draft was definitely wide receiver friendly, and I didn't expect the Falcons sitting there looking at wide receiver. I mean, we pretty much thought, well, Mariota's not. They're seriously not really looking at keeping Mariota.
But the fact that only
I didn't think nobody actually thought that I knew they was going receiver. I knew they was going receiver.
But once they went receiver, Seattle said offensive tackle. Right there, I know Russell Wilson had to be air smacking Pete
That's
Carroll.
what I said. I'm like, oh, Russell Wilson, like,
Yep.
Now y'all wait till I'm gone to draft me offensive line. You couldn't do it while I was here,
I
huh?
was right with you on that one. You just imagine Russell Wilson air smacking Pete Carroll right there. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, he can't be no matter to Aaron Rodgers.
But then again, he probably looking like you know what? No, they got Drew Lock. They probably do need to protect him.
I think the Jets probably had the best draft.
I was going to say the Jets.
I'll say the Jets too. Yeah,
amazing.
At the same time, they had the most chances to make something out of it too.
Right.
I will say this,
and they didn't blow it
now, because if this becomes Evic 12 Part 2, it's gonna be a problem.
I got a different team that I think had the best draft overall, and that's the Eagles.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Think the Eagles, if you look at who the Eagles drafted, along with getting A.J. Brown to go with the receivers they already got, Rieger and them, and
No,
I like
right,
the Eagles.
It's right here. Here's Philly right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I love what Philly did. Philly got the business on draft nights.
And that was very interesting. You had Hollywood going and you had AJ going. And of course, Tennessee turns around and, does that and picks up a new wide receiver.
which was when you hear about the stories of Traylon Burks, they say he's built like A.J. Brown and fucking DK Metcalf. So how funny was that? They just went and basically picked the same guys that got the same characteristics as A.J.
Mm-hmm. Less money.
I was going to say less money.
Right.
Well, I want to point out something. I pointed out this before, and it seems to be almost like a reverse engineering situation. A lot of these teams where you think, oh, they're going to pick up a quarterback, where instead they're picking up, like Seattle, they picked up a running back. They picked up an offensive lineman. They're picking up different pieces. Knowing that going in this season, they're going to be weak at quarterback and probably not going to make the playoffs, turn around and pick up the quarterback in the first round of next year, and they've rebuilt everything else around that situation and then plug in a rookie quarterback.
Yep, the John Dorsey way. Ken Dorsey.
Again, they did Seattle's doing that. Philadelphia's doing that. The Lions did that.
I don't see why people, especially Clint. We know why Clint does. I don't think Jalen Hurts is all that bad.
But if he doesn't work out this year,
yeah,
they put themselves in a position just to go out and get a rookie quarterback, plug him back in, and give him the best chance of winning right away.
And Seattle did not take a quarterback in this draft.
Right.
So,
but they did take a offensive lineman and a running back.
Again, I just think this quarterback class was so weak. It was like.
So you built around a quarterback that doesn't exist yet.
Well, the point of it being the point that I bring up is because a few other people had said it, not I. I just kept saying, "Don't tell Bryce." As if Baker Mayfield actually gets swung over to Seattle for something going into next year.
I have a real strong feeling that Hunt and Baker will end up becoming a package deal for some sort of trade.
That's why they drafted the forward kid from Cincinnati. Because guess what his scout report compares him to? Kareem Hunt.
Oh, Jason, Chipper bounced out. Sorry.
That's not a bad thought, though. They'll package him good because he can't afford Hunt next year. You're going to have to dump him.
Right.
I mean, that's a given. And you got to get rid of Baker Mayfield. You got to dump his ass. So package him up and get the best possible draft pick for him. Because if not, then you're just wasting them.
I literally think that's the only way the Browns can get rid of Mayfield without having to eat none of the contract.
Right.
What kind of picks would you be looking for in a deal like that, though? That's
you're probably gonna maybe second rounders?
No.
Yeah, you're not.
hell no.
Ain't getting no second.
No,
You're looking at
Not-
late third, maybe a fourth
I'm thinking
No,
Ray
okay.
I don't even think he'll get a four, to be honest with you.
at best. At
Like,
best,
not even
it'll
a
be
four. He might have to go
late
fifth.
third,
I just think his
fourth,
trade
fourth.
value, his value is so diminished. It's just like,
Baker is, but not Baker and Hunt. I think a legitimate second or third rounder for both of them is legit.
Right.
Now I'm not talking about one. I'm talking for both.
oh, for
Either
both.
receiver.
Because
Hell, at that price, everybody gonna sign up for some shit like that. I get where you're coming from on the Baker front, but on the Hunt front, that's still a number one back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a first round.
You can get that for Hunt.
You can get a first round for Hunt.
And that's
Not if
why
you're gonna get a
Might be the
first round
thing
for him.
because-
I mean,
that's
if they
why-
were
Might be the
shopping
thing.
him, if they would have been shopping him around the draft, they would have got a first round pick.
and that's why I think that's going to end up being a package deal where it'll end up being Hunt and Baker going somewhere, and you're going to end up getting your draft picks back that way.
No,
part
if
of
you
them.
attach Baker, the package gets weaker because you're taking on money. So now
agree,
you're
but
talking about a third or fourth rounder. You're right.
So I
You
said,
take Baker out of that. You got to eat Bakers.
no, you go ahead and take that third round pick, and you get rid of that contract, and you give up Hunt. You're gonna lose. You listen. If you're any other team, you're not trading for Baker. You're actually trading for Hunt. You're taking on Baker because that's the deal.
You don't want to do that in next year's draft. If you can get a first round pick, you take it. I don't give a damn what you got to do.
I was talking about shopping it around today, about last week.
Oh yeah, no. Last week, yeah, you would have took it, but yeah, this next draft, yeah, you take the first rounder. Gladly,
But Cleveland needs to get rid of both.
yeah.
So you package them together, and you have to just suck it up at that point in time and take Baker.
I would say give Baker, Kareem Hunt, and maybe a fifth round pick or fourth, and try to get it first.
Yeah, you would probably have to throw picks in there.
Yeah, you have to some filler
Hell, give him
picks.
Greedy Williams. Bye, Greedy. Go that way. Can we throw Greedy Williams in there?
What is his real name? His name ain't Greedy. He
What is
ain't nothing greedy about him on the field. Man, I gotta look his real name. I'm not calling him Greedy.
The
no
only thing
more.
greedy about Greedy Williams is that's the whole people. That's the only thing about him.
I thought he was gonna be a dog. I ain't even
I
gonna
did.
lie.
Man.
Andreas Montrell Greedy Williams.
No, it's cool. We'll call him Greedy. Andreas is even more egregious. I can't. I can't.
I
That's
just
why he named
remembered
himself
this.
Greedy. He's like,
And I
Where's
won't
that guy from?
disrespect him and call him Andrea. Since
Oh,
he
you?
was to wanna
It's
play like a
Andreas.
beaver.
Yeah, he
Andraez.
He came out of-
feel like he got so-ins.
Where's his hometown?
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah, I thought so.
This is a Creole name. Yep.
He don't
And-
get to stay at the hotel with the team.
And just out of curiosity, do you have his Wikipedia page up?
Yeah.
How old is his parents, roughly? Hey, can you look that up? Because the name Greedy, that's Stanford's son all day.
It's
So therefore, mom and dad have to be in their son, have to be like my age or older.
Suds. It's a nickname.
It's
They
his
only
nickname.
put it quoted. It is a nickname.
Well, you gave out the full name and you threw in Greedy in the middle of it. So I'm assuming it was a middle name.
No. Montrell is his middle name.
Didn't he say Greedy at the very? You gave out the
Yeah.
whole name and then threw in Greedy in the middle.
He got the right to be pissed at his parents for his name. I know they could have did better. Can you read that egregious name just one more time?
Andreas Montrell Williams.
Andreas.
Andreas.
What do they think they birthed a Greek god?
Sounds like he should be. Sounds like he should be on a Netflix special for drug lords.
Oh, wow.
That's like Barkevius Mingo. You remember him? You're like, wow, his name is Barkevius. Like,
And they
he
went
got
with
a
E.T.
God of War name. Like,
You know he got smacked upside his head when he was learning how to spell his name.
And that's why he's called Greedy. That's what he signed all of his papers in school was Greedy.
Greedy.
Well, you can't put Greedy on your paper, and then you give his name. Go, all right, go ahead and put Greedy on your paper. I get it. I understand.
My favorite was always DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
Yeah.
DeBrickashaw?
DeBrickashaw.
Yeah, that one you sit there and go, what kind of stuff are you all on?
Yeah, see, that's when you got two parents are nuts or something because my wife banned my name. When I tried to name my first son or my second son a certain name, my wife shut my shit down. Like, no.
Hold on, we talking about names though. Hold on. How about Inquaminius St. Brown? I'm a Raw St. Brown. And the youngest one name is Osiris St. Brown.
This is legit. This was my son. This is the name I was trying to name my youngest, Gabriel. This was the name. I'm not playing with you. George has heard it. He's told me hell fucking no. Sinjin.
Mm-hmm.
That was my wife in the background yelling no.
Wow. Whoa.
She walked right into the.
Sound like a hospital. Cool. Like,
The fact that you
yeah, I'm sitting in the chair now, bro. They about to get the syringe and they about to take care of me. I'll call you back.
Sinjin.
That's the anime name.
Sinjin.
You heard Denise. Denise cannot hear us.
Yeah, I got this on here. She didn't hear a damn thing. She just heard the name. She's like, hell no.
Heard the name and just went, hell no.
Damn. She said that shit.
She can't hear anything we're saying, and he just says the name, and she says, hell no.
That's exactly what she did when I brought it up the first time. Hell no. Sinjin.
Sub went to bat for that name.
I did too. I really did. For two reasons. One.
Her reaction just gave away like he fought hard for that name.
Yeah, I did. I really did. There was a reason though. I had a good reason. First of all, Sinjin means St. John, and my dad's name is my stepdad, who is my dad, is named John. So Sinjin means St. John. So I was naming him after my dad. My son Xavier, his middle name is William, which is my real dad's name. So I was naming both. I want to name both my kids after my dad's. So that was the reason why Sinjin was coming into play. Now, that being said, there was a television show called Airwolf in the back of the 80s. And there was a character on the show named Sinjin Smith. Or Sinjin Hawk. Sinjin Hawk. And that was an alternative motive on my part. I wanted to go with that.
Yeah.
Because Stringfellow was never going to happen.
That's right. And
I wasn't even going to try to take that shot.
And you were trying with the St. John very hard.
I did too. And boy, did I get shot down quick. Boy, it wasn't even funny.
You were shot down with an Airwolf shooting down things.
Well, I didn't bring up where the show was from. I didn't bring up the show. There's no way. How do you think I got Xavier, which obviously from X-Men, the Professor Xavier, and my youngest, his name is Gabriel, which is one of the characters in the X-Men is Archangel Gabriel, which is the one with basically in the X-Men series is the one with the wings. That's one of his code names. Anyway, so I did get my X-Men in there. She didn't catch on to that until it was already too late.
Here's the thing I was going to say is, why is it when there's a fucked up name, you bitch about it, and then you're going to name your kid something fucked up like that? I mean, come on, really?
I didn't get to, though.
You were trying.
Somebody should have stopped. Somebody should have stopped them, just like they stopped me.
Because I love it when
I
George
got
is like,
shot down. How come nobody else shot them down?
I love when George is like, son, try to pronounce this. And he just looks at it. No, fuck you. I'm not even going to try that one.
Nope.
Leave
And
it all
you
up.
know what? Sinjin was Sinjin. I mean, I can figure that shit out. Some of these motherfuckers have names that nobody can figure out. You need an interpreter to know what the hell some of these fuckers' names are.
I get a more kick out of the people who name their kids out of liquor or things like that. You know,
You have no idea what I've seen.
Tennessee. I'd be like, whoa, all right.
I know a kid named Legend. His name is Legend.
I know.
He was 11. He was 11 years old. You kind of setting that dude up for failure.
Suds?
I mean, what if he ends up being a trash collector? Your name is Legend. You better be the best damn fucking trash collector of all time.
Suds, read line 6.
Ukudandu. Ukwandu. Ukundu. Ukundu. Ukwandu. Ukwanu. Am I close?
Close.
Who knows? Google Reads can't even pronounce that.
Ekwanu.
Ekwanu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, there was one that would have gave you trouble.
Well, they always give me trouble on that shit. Come on now. See, and if you go into a baby book, you can find the name. You can find the name Sinjin, and you can find the name Xavier. You can find these names in. They're actually Hispanic names. You can find these names.
You selling Kirby's? Are you selling us on this name?
I tried, man. I was trying to tell you what I tried to do.
Your wife.
I couldn't get it past my wife. I couldn't get it past my mom. I couldn't get it past anybody. Even my dad, who I was naming it after, but no. No.
Damn, Pops.
Name, shut it down. That's a win.
Pops said
right
no.
Yeah, and he goes, no. He goes, I'm not buying that one either. I'm like, all right, fine. But the funny part is, and you have to understand, both my boys were born early. Neither one of them made it to their due date. My oldest was almost a month early, and my youngest here, he was born about 3 weeks early. Well, this little shit was born on Christmas Eve. And
Wow.
I named him Gabriel. So I named this dude Gabriel on Christmas Eve. Now, if you've seen my stepdad, my dad, he's got like really, dude, I'm bald. He is not. He's got super long gray black hair with his big ass beard. He looks just like Jesus. So I had a picture of him holding.
I can vouch for that.
I had him holding him. Had my dad holding him on Christmas. So I had Jesus holding Gabriel on Christmas Eve or on Christmas.
Angel.
Yeah.
Gabriel Angel.
Get out of here.
Ah, I
I'm
shall
with her.
never. Oh, don't throw that at me. No.
Damn kid stealing the show. You'll be replaced soon.
So one time he was downstairs and him and his brother were fighting, and I told them like 3 times to knock it off. And so I started going down there because I was pissed, and they could hear the thumping all the way down the stairs of my feet. And as soon as I hit the bottom stairs, his ass dropped down to the ground onto his butt. I said, "Oh, now your ass wants to sit down and be quiet. Now what's up with that?" And he goes, "Well, this is the first place you hit." I'm like, good point. He about to get his ass whooped. He sat down, so I couldn't do it. So I picked him up.
Hey,
he still got the ass whooping.
effort.
Yeah.
So it did not happen.
That
which
wasn't work.
was a little bit of a surprise, I guess. A small surprise. So now, with Nick Foles being released, now Baker's still not even the best quarterback out there.
Yes, he is. He's better than Nick Foles.
When they released Nick Foles?
Who has the Super Bowl?
The
Carson
Eagles.
Wentz and Nick Foles.
Nick Foles has a Super Bowl ring.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, George. Oh Lordy.
Well, you're stretching it now.
Skip.
So does DeJuan Howard, but he didn't fucking earn it either.
Touche, Kareem. Touche.
Make balls. No, the problem is with Baker Mayfield is he's only got 1 year left in the contract. You're not going to franchise his ass.
Even Jimmy's giving me shit.
You're not going to franchise Baker Mayfield. So you have two options. The teams who clearly, by the way, are pissed off at Cleveland for giving Watson that contract in the first place. They're going to make you eat that $14 million contract for Baker, saying go fuck yourselves for what you just did.
18.
Okay, $18 million. They're going to go fuck you. You screwed us all over. Now you're going to eat this $18 million contract. You ain't going to have an option. Then they're going to wait for you to either drop him or
they're not going
his
to drop
contract
him.
expire, and then he's gone anyways.
They won't drop him. They have him for this whole season. It's
right.
off the point of
So
no
you're
return.
going to eat the contract.
Keep him back.
They're going to make you eat that contract and make you drop him next year.
What they will do is they will wait. Cleveland will just sit there and wait. And when the first couple quarterbacks get injured, somebody will come calling. And that's what they're waiting on.
Didn't you say he was gone by the draft
I
pick?
said that he'd be
gone on the draft
he'd
pick.
be gone. But
Yeah,
he
wasn't.
wasn't.
He almost was. I mean, Carolina.
Yeah, he almost was. Carolina was right there.
Who in the middle of the season got $18 million just to come get Baker Mayfield because their quarterback got hurt?
Oh
Nobody.
no. They'll make Cleveland eat a lot of that. And they'll say, well, we'll give you this.
I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose then, right?
They're just desperate. Cleveland's desperate just to get something for Baker at this point.
Cleveland's getting greedy. And
Cut him.
Desperate, greedy,
that's
I love
just it. And they're not going to get him. They're not going to get the first round pick. I said
Never a chance in hell.
It'll be a late third, but probably more likely it'll be a fourth round pick at best that they'll get for him.
They could just cut him, and then he could just come to Pittsburgh and just start whipping Deshaun Watson's ass, and then he'll look crazy good because he's got weapons in a stable organization.
That last week, by the way.
You know, Adam will have Ohio State, Michigan fears all over again with the Browns and Steelers. He just came out of a 30-year hiatus. It'd be devastating if he went back.
Now Baker is it's an $18 million hit with the Browns too, so they'll just keep him.
Yeah, Kareem, I got kicked out for that comment last week about him going to Pittsburgh. They muted me. They kicked me off the show.
He wants to.
Yeah, well, what he wants and what he gets will be always two different things.
You're right, unless he gets cut.
And it's whatever he wants.
Well, like I said, the cap hit is 18 mil, so they'll just hold on to him.
What if next year we just cut ties with Mitchell Trubisky and just give him a contract then? Let's say it don't work out. There's all kind of ways this could play out. He want to play for somebody who
he's a UFA next year, so. But if he doesn't play at all this season, then you've got a quarterback who had surgery on his shoulder, non-throwing shoulder, and then didn't play a whole season. So
that's true.
And you have a very good quarterback class coming out in the draft.
But you won't have to pick. But on the other hand, Pittsburgh won't have to pick that quarterback coming out of the draft. They could get Baker for cheap and get a pissed off Baker, and then you could still, like I said earlier, build everything around this thing, give him a couple-year contract, continue to build around it.
Quarterback at 1.
Huh?
They just drafted a quarterback at 1.
Yeah.
He's expendable.
Yes,
This is Pittsburgh.
Kareem,
he don't mean nothing yet.
With me. He is. I like Kareem.
He's a turkey. We don't love him. He just visited. He got to prove. He got to do something. He could go. to the best man win. Like we can have a rummage sale this weekend, and he can be in it. Like and we can find something better.
He said a rummage.
To each his own.
If Baker Mayfield came available right now, Kareem, with nothing, you don't have to give Cleveland anything. Do you drop Willis and bring up Baker?
They
Do I
don't
drop
have
Kenny
Willis.
Pickett?
They may have
No,
Pickett.
Willis.
They have Pickett, genius.
Yeah,
Hey,
Pickett,
how
not
about you
Willis.
do some
Who
research?
picked
before you
Willis?
come
I'm
on the
sorry.
show? Dude, Jesus. Christopher. Do some research before you come on the damn show.
He
He
dropped
said
him.
Willis 3
I said the
times.
wrong name. Shut up.
He said Willis 3 times.
Yes.
Since the start. And I'm like,
Yes,
dude,
I do.
go look
Because, and this is why I would do it personally. Because, for one, the edge and fire that Baker has, it's good to have that. But in Pittsburgh, we'll show him the right way to use it. In Cleveland, he was more of like a LeBron in Miami, like a villain. And that was the kind of energy he expelled. Like he was just going to take over the Browns, take over the NFL, and that was that. And, you know, all the commercials didn't look good on his part. He ain't shooting no damn video in Pennsylvania. He going to sit his ass down and study this book. We going to have the right people with him. I'm not saying he's going to be the Heisman winner. I'm not saying he's going to get a Hall of Fame jacket one day if he come to Pittsburgh, but I know he'll be better off in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, I would take the chance on him because, like it or not, he still is a Heisman. And I'll bring up the fact that he wasn't that bad, actually. And you know he shouldn't have been playing this season because the day after the season, he had surgery. And usually the day after the season when you have surgery, it's because you were in the playoffs and you played in the playoffs or you were actually doing something. The Browns weren't making no noise. So that's how you know he was hurt more than they is. And the Browns just like egged him on and knew that they was going in on Deshaun Watson, which ain't nothing wrong with that. He's a top quarterback. Any team would have. Yes, you take Baker.
And I said that Baker was basically, it's going to be stuck in the position of he was going to stretch it out and be like Cam Newton and not get the surgery right away and then be able to be available halfway through the season. So, no, they didn't want to do that. So,
did you say Cam Newton?
Yep.
There's a couple people's names. Let's just get this out the way. There's a couple people's names you can't say on podcasts no more, okay? Cam Newton being one. Andy Dalton don't get mentioned. What's the Tennessee's quarterback? Come on, Jimmy, help me.
Tannehill?
Brian Tannehill, he can't get no love. Who else? Yeah, it's a couple. You know, I heard y'all say Brian Hoyer's name even. No, like, boo-boo butt. Horrible. Cake Buster great. Flies will win. Can't mention their name, okay?
What's wrong with Tannehill, by the way?
What's wrong with
wondering.
Tannehill?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He has a running back that's capable of getting 250, and he'll still probably lose the game. That's what's wrong with Tannehill. How the hell do you got the best back? The man can run through bricks. You see what's in Zalt? He'll run through that whole background. He'll run right through it, and you can't seem to win with this guy. So you're the problem. I mean, think about it. They had the receivers. Their line was decent, but all right. They had a running back. It was the quarterback. Tannehill's a bum.
Oh,
Didn't their running back get injured though and didn't come back into the playoffs?
So your quarterback is supposed to do some quarterback-ish shit and he failed to do that. When you are scoring 1 touchdown and 2 touchdowns, that's what I got from Mason Rudolph. You don't want to be in the same conversation as Mason Rudolph. That's helmet boy.
Hold on, Kareem. I'm gonna leave it at this. Do you remember the Houston Texans game? He threw 5 interceptions.
Yeah, like
nothing.
Like it's just some certain people just it's
and there was
over.
some bad interceptions he threw. He looked like Miami Ryan Tannehill when he threw.
Jimmy.
All right, well, I gotta go, guys. I got a phone call to make. I'm sorry. I'll catch you next week.
Peace out.
All right, bye.
Yeah, Jimmy must not be on because he's not commenting. But yeah, the Titans actually ended up taking a quarterback.
which I think a lot of people never suspected Tennessee even. I mean, Willis, when they were talking about Willis, Tennessee never came up.
Nope. That is not where we were expecting. I was thinking it would be Atlanta or Seattle.
Well, is that a factor of
Malik
Tennessee
Willis
just
might be the
running
start.
smoke, or is that a factor of Tennessee finally deciding it's like, okay, look, if nobody else is going to take this kid, we're going to take him?
I was going to say, and wasn't that like it's like all right, best player on the board at that point? Is that what you're saying? Pretty much.
And realistically, Tannehill, in theory, they've got an out with him next year, but you wait one more year and it's all voidable years for him. So you got
Ryan Tannehill's also one of those guys that like he will be the professional, like what's that? Like he'll work with Willis and everything like that.
And really,
that kid's coming for your job. But
they can keep Willis on the sideline, just point at Tannehill and say, "Look, see what he's doing? Don't do that."
You see 22 right there? In the ball. Now he's gonna have 958 carries this season, probably. But
no, because what?
He said 958.
No, because they took Haskins also in the 4th round. So
okay,
no,
okay. Well, Derrick Henry will have 858 carries then.
No less. But hey, all jokes aside, I will say I think Malik Willis is got a potential to be the starter for real. A and B, because he might not be able to throw, but he can run. And Derrick Henry, well, we know he can run. And those two in the backfield is scary.
They're gonna run a lot of them RPOs too.
See, I would love to see that, but the only way I think that's going to happen is if the Titans go and hire the Chargers doctor to get fucking Tannehill a shot in the lung.
Boy, you're really high on that doctor. That doctor to visit a whole bunch
Come
of
on,
teams.
man. Like you literally stab one of your players like in the lung. Like you collapse the lung.
You were giving him a shot for something else and you collapsed him in my man's lung.
Okay, so Adam, Matt Corral.
I don't know enough about him. I mean, I'm happy they got a quarterback. I mean, it wasn't one that I expected, but I mean, because I thought for sure they were going to take Willis. I really did, but or Pickett. Once they took the offensive tackle at 6, I kind of realized I'm like, yeah. Then that's when I thought for sure the Baker trade was going to go through. That fell through, and that's when I think they realized, fuck it, we got to get a quarterback, and Corral was the best available at the time, or so they thought. So, I mean, he's what is he like 6'2"? I don't even know what size he is. Like I said, I don't know much about this kid. I've never doing my research on him. Matt Corral.
Where did he go again?
Ole Miss.
No, I mean in the draft.
Carolina.
Third
round.
Oh,
pick 94.
There is 6 seconds left in this game, and Boston decides now they want to start fighting.
Better than never.
5-1 Carolina, by the way.
Yeah, Matt is 6'2".
We talking about all these teams in the draft. Like, who you think had the worst draft?
The New England Patriots.
Yeah, they took a lot of questionable picks.
I'm gonna lean a little bit probably toward the Cowboys too.
Yeah, you can say that.
Cause that, I get it. They needed, like they drafted the tackle, and the way if you get burnt by Mel Kiper that bad, then I don't know. What do you say? He was like 0 feet, no technique, a penalty waiting to happen. I'm like, damn.
He did Cookie. He did. He torched him on live TV.
Was that the one where he said popcorn feet or something? Or who said that? I heard somebody say that.
That was the dude from Ohio State, I think.
And the crazy part is he wasn't lying.
Like the dude literally got suspended during the bowl game, like for brawling. Like he got into a brawl. He led the FBS in holding with 17 penalties. 12 was holding. It's like, yeah, no. They should have took Lyndon. They should have took one of the guards or the center.
But maybe they think that they could coach him up. At least they didn't take 100 and some umpteen ranked talent in the top 32. You just can't get past that. That's like taking a kicker in the second round. Like, could you imagine coming to the podium and they saying with the 20th pick in the third round, in the second round, the Steelers select punter such and such from such, like, no, like
that would be such that right there would be when Akers ever became a GM. That's when that would happen.
like I had to take my hat off when the Patriots made that pick. I'm not even a Patriots fan. I said, well, I am flabbergasted. And I don't even know how to spell that. And I don't even know if I know the quite 100% meaning. But if it means anything that I felt,
it's funny because we kind of brought it up in our chat. Like, the one that was kind of surprising to me, like, don't get me wrong, the kid's a hell of a talent, is that Matt Ariza going to fucking Buffalo. Buffalo don't ever fucking punt. Why the fuck would you draft him?
Man, when they drafted him, I was like, no, why him? I'm like, damn, you could take another punter. And then I just see him just boom a punt, like 2 80-yard punts back. I'm like,
he had like an 84-yarder last year.
Like, man.
Okay, I've got a surprise loser of the draft.
Shoot.
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Chicago had 11 picks. 6 of them were in rounds 6 and 7. They took a cornerback in the second round. They took a safety in the second round. They finally took a wide receiver in round 3. That got a D grade, that receiver pick. And then they didn't address the O-line until round 5.
That's why they got,
He got no help.
Yeah, the Bears led the NFL. The Bears gave us 58 sacks last year. Didn't you want to get some offensive linemen to protect your second-year quarterback?
No, they're on the Seattle.
Rounds 5 and 6 and 7. They figured that's where they were going to grab it.
Poor Justin Fields. He'll get broke up again this year.
Welcome to the Michigan Panthers.
Hey, they won a game, so guess what?
Right?
They won it. They actually won a game. The Pittsburgh team still has to win one.
Now, I'm not going to call them the biggest loser of the draft or anything like that, but at the same time, coming out of this draft, is Tennessee a better or worse team?
I'm going to say better.
Okay.
I'm going to say better because you got a running back. You know, Derrick Henry won't have to run the ball as much. You got the same kind of receiver, so, I mean, that kind of cancels out.
You got a couple of them, actually. You got a couple of receivers here.
Okay, the same kind and a rookie who you hope can do the same.
Well, you hope he does.
We got a good fight going on right now.
Who fighting?
Tampa and Toronto.
We're getting our ass whooped 5-0.
It's a blowout game. Big deal.
Yeah. You always get hyped for hockey fights, George. Hockey fights are not a big deal. Or are a big deal.
You send a message for next game. We're going to show
right.
Up, unlike tonight.
6 seconds left. If I'm going to swing on somebody to amp up the next game, then God damn it, I'm a team player.
I'm doing it. I'm checking somebody into the glass.
Oh, there's been plenty of that tonight.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm checking somebody through the glass. Like,
I mean, I get it, but I'm of the school that, you know what, you're going to fight somebody with 6 seconds left. Where the hell was that energy when we're getting our asses kicked?
Yeah.
It's a little too late at that point.
Yeah, both games tonight have been a blowout.
Oh, that's why there's more.
Oh, they took Brian Robertson.
Who's that?
Commander.
Oh,
I'm wondering where he went.
I mean, okay, look. Out of all the quarterbacks not named Pickett, who do we think is going to have be the first one to get a start or be a starter, and or be the most successful?
Probably Ritter.
Purdy for the 49ers when he beats out Lamb.
It's pretty hard to get a start from the practice squad, George.
Purdy. He's going to beat out Trey Lance. Watch.
Okay.
Calling it now.
You going to put some money on that?
I'm probably say Ritter.
No.
Oh, okay, then.
I'm sorry. Suds has left the room.
I ain't talking about Suds.
Don't
Purdy.
No, don't try
copying the Purdy guy.
Don't try copycatting. Don't try copycatting.
So I just want to point out real quick, we've come back from commercial break, and it is a complete team brawl on the ice with Tampa and Toronto right now.
Put some respect on the champ's name.
There's no respect tonight. They're just getting Toronto is.
I'm talking about the fight.
I don't know. Everybody's like laying down right now. Oh wait, hang on. We got another one. It's pretty even right now. These dudes are swinging for the fucking fences, and the refs just standing there like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even. Just do it. There's 10 minutes. There's 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to say Toronto won that one because whoever is 44 for Tampa just sat up and there's a pool of blood on the ice.
Ooh.
I'm guessing you've seen better times.
I think that's Ruda, Jan Ruda.
That's his name.
I think so.
Starts with his last name starts with an M, I think.
You can't even just know how to play damn hockey. You gotta know how to play damn hockey, know how to fight, know how to skate, know how to goddamn read.
You got to know how to fight with knives strapped to your feet.
Like, for real.
Which, by the way, have accidentally sliced people's throats open.
Right.
Yeah, Jan Ruda is 44. So somebody.
Dude, he gigged like an old 80s wrestler. It is 5-0 Toronto right now, by the way. And Tampa now wants to start fighting.
They're going to wait till next game. Which would be what, Wednesday?
Probably. Because I think they do every other?
I think so.
Can we talk about schedule makers for a minute and like the NBA and NHL both going, playoffs crazy and not having any games on Saturday?
They don't want to compete with USFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to let them get ratings. It's a new thing. They're just started. So
you don't want me to start talking about ratings in the USFL.
I was going to say, I saw the blood sweepers for a second there. I was like, ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Not that, what the hell? What just fell at your house? The cat knocked something over, Trez?
No.
He's oblivious to it.
It's probably, yeah. You could tell how much I listen. It's the spooky ghost.
Did we hit the Lions before I came on? Because
No.
if we did, we need to have an opinion other than Suds.
That son of a gun's opinions don't mean squat because he doesn't back anybody. He told you he is the biggest bandwagoneer on the planet that I know of. Whoever is winning and is doing well is where he goes.
Because Zoe will know who I'm talking about. Y'all still got fractured throat guy on y'all team, right?
Ragnar, oh, absolutely we do.
Yeah, that's my guy right there.
He's our center. He's our center.
He like came on. When you play a game on a fractured throat at the starting center, when you got to call audibles, you got my respect.
I think the one guy that you guys got that's very underrated is Paschal from Kentucky.
Yeah, they're
Very
talking.
underrated.
They're talking. They want him to add about 5-10 pounds and probably play more inside on the line than outside. But they're going to have him. Most of the guys that they took, they've been talking about playing in multiple spots. Even Hutchinson, lining him up inside sometimes, outside sometimes.
Well, I mean, to say that you definitely were focusing on your defense for a change is an understatement.
I told you. Brad Holmes,
Yep.
first round. Defensive line. That is his thing. It's
At least
always
they
been
waited. At least they waited to the 5th round to get a tight end this year.
Yeah. He is coming off an ACL. He is a pass catching tight end. And since, Hawkinson got pretty messed up this past year, it's just going to be nice to have somebody that's actually a backup that can catch a pass.
Or split time with.
Yeah, exactly.
And you did get another very solid wide receiver.
Up until he tore his ACL, they were talking he was the guy. He was going to be the top guy. Tears his ACL in the national championship game. This is actually what I like about this. Not just the fact that they trade up to get what they felt was the number one wide receiver in the draft, but you're taking a guy not for this year. You're taking him for next year.
Yep.
That's what they're shooting for.
Key and Michael Key said it best. Remember they interviewed him? I did about James Williams. It's like Calvin Johnson and just walked off. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, man.
Yep.
Because you guys got what? You picked up Shark, right?
Yep, but he's only got a 1 year.
Okay.
They still got Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra's their number. Yep. I literally
Shark is basically they're kicking the tires on it, see how he is coming back from injury. So they're kicking the tires on him. If everything goes well, it's a plus for next year.
Yep. I mean, you've got Shark, St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Jameson Williams when he's able to play.
Well, I think going to have a step up year this year, Josh Reynolds. I think.
I've actually heard that. Khalif Raymond, the same. Everybody's favorite name, Quintez Cephas.
I forgot they got him. I forgot y'all got Quintez Cephas.
The nice thing is Shark doesn't have to sit there and be the main guy like he was with Jacksonville.
I think Cephas was the number one guy before he got hurt last year, wasn't he? In terms of receivers, I think.
Last year, I don't even remember last year. I blocked it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know nothing. I
understand.
Nothing.
We as Brown fans try to do the same, but we always
going into this draft, I said it's like I'm not seeing them take a quarterback, especially not early, because they want to see another year for Goff with Campbell calling the plays. Because when Campbell was calling the plays last year, Goff went off. So I think they're very curious as to what the hell they can get out of him this coming year. And I mean, you've got him. Why not use him? And if he sucks, guess what? You know where you're picking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have, pretty sure you got another extra first rounder again next year that you can use to trade up if you need to.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Quarterback draft coming out next year going to be nice. I mean,
but,
might not like it, but everybody's saying CJ Stroud right now probably go number one.
Next year.
Huh?
I thought CJ Stroud couldn't come out for another year yet.
I don't know.
No, it's
I don't know how they do.
Year. Going into your junior, you can.
No, okay. I said that to somebody. They tried to argue with me and said, "No, he's got to wait 2 more years." I'm like, "No, he can go out
He was
next
a
year."
redshirt freshman last year, I think. So I think he'll be eligible to come out. His situation, I think, can't be like
you have to do 2 years.
Go clone on someone else.
Sporting News list of top quarterbacks: C.J. Stroud for next year, Bryce Young, Spencer Rattler, Phil Jerkovich, and then the list goes on.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, them 3 are probably, you'll say, are better than all the quarterbacks that came out of this draft class.
Hendon Hooker.
Oh, from Tennessee?
Yep. Grayson McCall, that's the Coastal Carolina kid.
Don't forget, you got the stud wide receiver that just transferred from Pitt. Addison will be coming out next year, I'm sure.
There it is. This is what I'm very concerned about. Right here, the Miami Dolphins. You had 4 picks, and you blew one of your picks on a quarterback in the last round.
Yeah, but the reason they have 4 picks is because they got Tyreek Hill.
Right, but still, the 4th pick, you're literally blowing a pick on a quarterback. Really?
Somebody's got to throw it to Tariq.
Hey,
That's my thing. When it comes to 7th round draft pick, I don't really consider you wasting a pick if you take a quarterback. I've seen Kansas State. You can put him on the field and do some wildcat stuff with Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, you can. You can
do some wildcat stuff with him.
And that's what they're going to do.
Running quarterback. He can be like Taysom Hill for them.
And Tyreek Hill's worth 1 through 7, so it don't matter what they drafted. They got Tyreek Hill.
Sure.
And
you
the fact
to worry
that
about who you chasing down, either him or Waddle.
there is a strategy in the NFL to drafting a quarterback every year, just for the hell of it.
Like that dude's so fast. Like if he get in trouble with the cops, like they better pull their guns immediately. That's one human being. They better pull their guns early. Because if they don't, they're not gonna catch him. They better be quick on the draw.
Oh Lord! One of the teams under scrutiny is the Giants.
I thought they had a pretty good. I mean, their first round draft, but I didn't see the rest.
Here.
Okay, I knew of their first 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay
with Beavers.
2 first-round picks. Here's my thing with Wan'Dale Robinson. So you literally went into this draft with rumors that you're shopping Kadarius Toney, and more than rumors that you're shopping. Who's the name I'm forgetting?
Galladay?
No, Galladay's Slayton.
Shepard.
So here's the thing. You try to play off the fact that, no, we're not shopping Kadarius Toney, but you drafted a wide receiver who's his clone.
True.
You're gonna tell me you're not shopping Toney?
See, I don't know much. The thing about, I watched the bowl game Kentucky had against Iowa, where I think he went crazy for one, but then he was battling cramps the whole 4th quarter. So he make a 20-yard catch, come out, scratch his leg out, sit out 3 plays, went back out onto the field, make another big play, then run back over to the sideline, get his leg scratched out again, then go back out on the field, catch a touchdown, stay on the field, get his leg scratched out again.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are we talking about Odell?
No, we're talking about Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh.
He finished that game too. I think he had 8 for 190 something.
Forget it, you missed it.
Great.
He
went crazy that game.
That was great.
Again?
Zolt, well played, sir. Well played.
Here's the thing. Could there be the possibility now, since goes back to George brought this up when we all kind of laughed at him, but could there be a possibility now that they declined that 5th-year option on Daniel Jones, they're going to need a quarterback? What about 6?
Yeah.
You sound like Skip Bayless now.
No, but it is true. I mean, the Giants have nothing on their roster.
Wouldn't Baker for Kadarius Toney kind of be straight up, even up?
No,
I don't want the Browns to eat the money.
I'm saying money wise, yeah. But I'm saying value wise. I mean, other than take the money out of it, it'd almost be like an even up trade considering Kadarius really hasn't done shit. Maybe the Baker has a little bit more value. I don't know, but could you just do a swap 1 for 1? Or would you have to throw like?
No, New York's gonna have to give up something. I think probably a 6. They may give Cleveland a 6th and the receiver for Baker. Probably a 6th.
It's just an idea.
Yeah, no, and it could be. Like I said, somebody will probably, go, hey, look, and especially since you brought it up, it's like, yeah, I'd say probably a 6th and Tony for Baker. That would pretty much, I think, do it.
If the Browns wanted to, they can fleece the Giants. I think the Giants will still be like picking like.
No, because right now Cleveland's finding out that nobody's going to give them shit from Shinola, and the people in Shinola are pissed about it.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing with Baker. You got two separate things that are actually kind of working against this whole deal. The fact that he's on the last year of his deal is actually working against him. Because I think it's going to play out the way George said. Somebody's going to get hurt. Baker's a candidate to do that because he's on a 1-year deal. Anybody that's willing to trade for him right now probably means you're not going to pick him up just for this year. You want to sign him to an extension. Mm-hmm. And if you're that positive about him that you're going to sign him to a new deal, which is what it's going to be, pay him new deal money, then you probably would have already have offered Cleveland something that they would have taken.
Now this might be a long shot in a scratch. I think the situation. I think they might have to eat the money or something. They were saying also too that another reason they don't want to trade Baker is because they don't want to release Baker is because I think he will still be owed that money, and then he can get another contract somewhere else.
Well, I mean, he's owed the money regardless,
right?
And they don't round base saying you're not about to double dip at our expense, basically.
Right. It's the cap hit. Zolt brought it up before. Either way, the Browns are eating $18 million.
Yeah,
which is why
you're keep his ass $18 million.
Which is why you're going to keep him on the roster. You're not going to just flat out cut him. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Just pay him his $18 million and have him sit home. Don't go nowhere near the facility.
Oh, he has no plans to leave Texas.
Yeah. He has not flinched yet.
He will come to Cleveland. He will come to camp. He will show up.
He's going to lose money if he don't.
Actually, he has been told not to show up.
You can't do that.
Well, it's voluntary OTAs at the moment.
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm talking real shit.
Come July. Well.
Yeah, because they could turn around and fine him for every day that he's not there, and you make up your you make up your 18 million right there.
he will play the Deshaun Watson role, show up and collect your money.
Right, he'll sit on the bench, and like I said, there will be some quarterbacks that get injured, and somebody.
It is in his best interest to be on another team to at least show up, and even if you're just throwing on the practice jersey, because teams are going to look at that and go, well, this guy's just fucking sitting at home, like, what is it really worth even trying to get him?
And that'll be the scarier part, is because, like I said, if he sits out and doesn't play for a year on top of it, you kind of get fallen out by the wayside and forgotten about.
Right.
Do you really think that anybody is actually signing Julio Jones right now?
I mean, the one thing Baker needs to do, I get, it's like, I guess you need to try to do something to fix your reputation around the league.
I mean, even
that's the other problem is he
turned around his head, bro. Like
I said it before, he ran his mouth. He didn't shut up.
That interview didn't help him at all. Like, no, I understand the interview, and I get it, but it's the NFL. You can't say stuff like, "Oh, I felt the Browns disrespected me because they out here looking for another."
And no team
say that. And then the shit he talking about going to people's cubicles and booing them. I'm like, really? Like
I said,
dudes use you to get some money, to get some fame.
He needed to shut the hell up. He has an agent who is apparently a moron and can't keep him off of social media and podcasts and interviews, and he just will not shut the hell up. Now that the draft is come and gone, now you know his value is even lower than before because
Right.
he won't stop running his mouth. Well, now you got to kind of wait until somebody's hurt, and maybe he gets dealt at that point. Or maybe somebody goes out and picks up Nick Foles because Nick Foles is more professional than Baker Mayfield is. It's like which
more than likely that'll be the case.
Right. Which attitude and which maturity level are you taking? Are you taking Baker or are you taking Nick?
And he's a Super Bowl champ, too.
Like I said, it's all about the maturity level, too. Which is why I think there's one certain quarterback who's sitting there, still hasn't played in years because he's out there moping, going, oh, well, what about me? It's like, well, no, dude. It's not about you. And you run your mouth too, and that's what's burning his ass. It's like, okay, keep running your mouth and nobody's going to take you, and that's why you won't be back in the NFL. Might find yourself in the FCF
replacing Johnny Manziel. Are you kidding me?
I mean, it can only be better.
I mean, Jameis Winston was still throwing pick sixes, so we just throwing them to other guys.
With that, guys, we're gonna wrap this shenanigans.
I do have to say real quick, the kid from Chattanooga that got drafted, I do have to say props to him because apparently, although it wasn't a lot of money that he made off of like their licensing thing or whatever it is that they call it, the money that he earned from college, he turned around and donated to like one of the local like boys and girls clubs in that area where he was going to school before he entered the draft. So I thought that was pretty cool that he.
Right.
Respect.
That is very cool. All right, Dave, close us out.
End the damn show. What the fuck are you waiting for?